been under a rock like John, you probably know what this is, and you see on top here,
Yeah.
Got a big eagle and it says SRAM on it.
SRAM, yeah. I have
So
these components on
you
my.
don't have these.
I don't have those,
You
but
don't
I have
have those.
SRAM components.
You do. So this
on my
is
tall boy.
the
Yep.
new Eagle transmission. So if you don't know, this is a whole experience. So we're opening the box up and you get a bunch of stuff. So the cool thing about this is that SRAM has done away with, here's the rear derailleur. They've done away with a derailleur that mounts to a hanger. This derailleur is a direct mount. You do have to have the UDH, which is a universal derailleur hanger. That's something that SRAM came out with, and it has to go on a UDH bike. But if you haven't seen it, you need to look up some videos.
This is a really robust looking
It is.
derailleur. I mean,
so it's electronic.
Okay.
And there's videos of people out there standing on them, hitting them with hammers. There's a torture test video. This guy had it underwater, just like laying underwater, shifting it.
so if you hit a root with it, it's not going to come apart.
Yeah, and so here's kind of some of the cool things. So if you take the cage backwards, it'll come off into two pieces. And I'm touching something, and my audio's messing up a little bit.
Okay. No, you still sound good. Yeah.
So the cool thing about this is that if you do bash it and manage to mangle this piece is good, great. You can just buy this as a separate part. And here's the clutch for the derailleur, which is gonna hold the chain tension so when you're riding it doesn't slap around. You can buy all the jockey wheels separately. This jockey wheel in particular is pretty cool. If you get a stick jammed in it, you know what happens when you get stick jammed in your derailleur?
Yeah, you're walking home.
You're walking home. Well, with this one, the outside will continue to spin while the inside gets stopped, which is really wild. So you can do that. And then on this piece, all these pieces, the parallelogram here, these two bars, they're replaceable. All the little skid blocks and plastic covers are replaceable. So the piece that is the most important, which is the servo and the motor here, typically is going to be okay, which is pretty wild. Even there's a little setup screw. We were asking the SRAM guy the other day. You can get all these things separately, which is pretty cool. It's a modular system, and it's super easy to work on. So if you bend a cage, you can also get this is the XO, which is a little bit heavier model, but you can get the XX SL cage, which is carbon, and it just goes right onto this one, and then you can have the XXSL. Now it does come also with a new chain, so it's a T-type chain, so you have to use T-type chain with this system. There's no backwards compatibility. You get, let's see what else we got in the box. You get a new crank.
What?
So this is a whole system.
So you're buying basically a gruppo.
You're buying the gruppo, yeah.
Okay.
So this is the new crank, the XO crank, new chain ring, T-type only.
Oh my God.
This cracked me up because people were like, the kids on the junior team were like, oh, did you see they integrated the bash guard with like on the chain, it's bolted to the chain ring. And I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. They didn't do that exact same thing back in 2000, 2001. I can't believe that. They did. If you're new, they were doing this. It wasn't cut out the same way.
That's really cool. I'm recording all of this on video, and I'll put it up on the Biking for Boomers
we got a
channel.
new shifter pod, which is you can change it in whatever direction you need now, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
And then the last piece. This is probably one of the most beautiful things. Let's get out of here.
I don't know how you're going to improve. Oh,
Is the cassette. It's just like, it's pretty, it's lightweight. I mean, just like, feel the thing.
I'm going to hold that.
Yeah.
Oh man, what is that made of? I guess it's aluminum alloy.
It's aluminum.
But that's a freaking pipe plate too.
Yeah, it's huge. So it's 52, and it's just all milled, like, just so pretty. It's a great looking group set.
So what are you looking at if you buy this?
So this group set's about $1,600.
No kidding.
Yeah, it is. They go up from there. This is the cheapest one.
This is the cheap one.
It's the cheap one. But it's incredible. Like go look at some of the torture test videos of what people put these through. There's videos of the creator just literally standing on it and then putting it up and shifting through all the gears, and it shifts perfect. It's really a piece of technology that is amazing. And when it came out, obviously I immediately wanted one.
Do you have one?
Don't have one.
You don't have one?
To wait. This is the only one in the building right now.
Okay,
They're
so
not easy to get.
So, what model year of bikes are coming out with this technology?
So UDH has been around for a while.
Yeah.
But it more and more people are adopting UDH, or the universal derailleur hanger,
right.
as a standard.
Right.
The nice thing is that if you go to the wheels manufacturing website, there's probably 400 derailleur hangers out there for different brands, because they're milled differently and shaped differently and designed for different derailleurs and things. Well, now this is trying to reduce the complexity of what you need to have to put a derailleur on your bike. You should only have to have one type of hanger.
Right.
It's easy, everybody has it, they're cheap, you can throw it on when you need one. Or if you have a bike that has the universal derailleur hanger, you can do away with it and just use the derailleur, no hanger involved.
Right. But I mean, so bike brands will be looking at this.
Yeah.
And this will be becoming a standard equipment on, I don't know what brand of bike. I mean, SRAM is on.
Well,
it seems like half is Shimano and half is SRAM anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
So I mean, really, most major manufacturers going to have it. Specialized Santa Cruz, Trek. Cannondale, any big brand is gonna probably have the UDH in some form or fashion. They're probably gonna have to do some fiddling the next few years, figuring out what they're gonna put it on and what they're gonna just keep as a normal hanger.
Sure, but let's get off the hanger part.
Yeah.
But let's just this whole package right here, okay? This is not entry level stuff,
No.
but it's so you're looking at probably a minimum $5,000 price point bike before you get into this technology, because you're not going to get
probably.
electronic shifting on the lower end models.
Right, yeah, it's gonna, probably at least $5,000 is what you're gonna look to spend on a bike to get something like this. They're gonna have an OE version of this, I have to imagine, that'll be a little bit more economical. It'll probably be heavier cassette or a different crank that uses T-type, but the technology will be the same. It just will be not quite as pretty as this.
This is beautiful.
And typically the hanger is the sacrificial link, but if the derailleur knows where it is, where to go, then it can get out of the way and move back to the same place. You don't have to have that sacrificial link. And one other thing, this is a mechanic must have designed this, because they thought of everything that we personally hate. So one thing you have to deal with on derailleurs is the limit screws and the B gap, which are little things that you have to change, the parameters you have to change to make the derailleur shift well on whatever bike it happens to be on.
Point to your limit screws and your B gap.
I can't, because they're not on.
Oh, they're not. You don't need them.
They did away with them.
Oh, okay. Because I was
Like I said,
I was holding it up and was like,
a mechanic had to have designed this, because
Right.
they thought, why do we need them if it knows where it is every time? If it uses the same, location, it should know, because that's a standard. So
Gotcha.
It's genius.
All right. So listen, we've just gone through this whole thing. I've recorded your whole demonstration, and we'll put that up. It's 8 minutes and 45 seconds, and
All
I'll put that on the YouTube channel, and people can see what you're talking about as you talk through it. I think you've described it pretty well if people are just listening to the audio, but
If you have questions, if you want to know more, email us, routeruppod@gmail.com.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.